to it, especially if it was about something I was interested in, or if it was funny. Those are the two things I like to listen to. This is the podcast from me. Thank you for listening for free, or you can become a patron. Edwin Salmonov.
Hey, salmon skins, and welcome to another episode of Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. I have got Luke on my knee, and we're going to sing his favourite song from Claphandies, not a sponsor of this podcast. Are you ready, Luke? Are you ready, listeners? Yeah, he's ready. You can't see it, but he's got the steely determination of a small baby looking at a web form on a garage band website. It's not a website, it's an app. Yeah, sorry Luke, he's right, it's an app. So here we go. This is it's a factually incorrect song about frogs. Boom, boom went the little green frog one day. Boom, boom went the little green frog. Boom, boom went the little green frog one day, and we all went boom, boom, boom. But we all know frogs go whoosh-la-di-da-di-da, whoosh-la-di-da-di-da, whoosh-la-di-da-di-da. We all know frogs go whoosh-la-di-da-di-da. They don't go boom, boom, boom. Yay! So yeah, forget everything you know about frogs is basically what that song is saying. Now, Luke, do you want to say anything to the listeners, or do you want to just continue staring at the screen that you probably shouldn't be looking at because you're only a baby? And babies shouldn't be looking at screens. Hey, you, baby, what are you doing looking at a screen? Put that screen down. It's a screen door. There's nothing on it. Hey, he just attacked the microphone there. That's poor broadcasting etiquette there on behalf of my son. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I think Luke is saying, stop that, Ed, and just get rid of me. Do a little improv rap and get away from the baby, because he's just not going to. I mean, I may as well have a couple of dogs on here as well and try and interview them as to have an almost 6-month-old baby. So say goodbye, Luke. Say see you later. Luke? Nothing. He's gurgling. He was blowing raspberries like that. And now nothing. Luke. Okay, he's looking at the screen. I better turn that off. So Luke, here we are. Here we are on the bed, and we're going to play with some things. This is a little bird thing that if you pull the string, it flaps its little wings and makes a little motorized sound like all birds do. He's going to have a chew on that. Here is a rattlesnake that has been tamed by an expert snake handler, and he is chewing that as well. Somebody give this kid a packet of Chew-Its. Am I right? Guys, welcome back to the podcast. That was a little bit of sampling. I'm sampling my own son to put him on the podcast because you know what? Things are that tough when it comes to podcasting. I got to put this out every week. I don't want to be repeating myself, which is why I throw in so much improv in there. And I'm hoping and praying that funny things happen to me all week long. But it doesn't always happen like that. Although, it's not a funny thing. It kind of led to a sort of a funny thing where the washing machine broke in the house. Well, it didn't break. It just sort of refused to do certain things. The main thing that it does, which is, turning, which they call agitating. That's what they call it when a washing machine turns your clothes, tumbles your clothes, and they all kind of fall on top of each other like some sort of modern dance piece. And then the little capsule that you put in with the thin, soluble layer pops and oozes all over them. And it becomes a lovely, foamy, hot, sticky mess that somehow gets clean. So it wasn't agitating. The washing machine wasn't sort of roughing up, grabbing the shirts and the socks and the underwear and going, "Oh, what have you been through? I'm going to get the dirt out of you. I'm going to agitate the shit out of you." Quite literally in some cases. Because we put some of Luke's stuff in there when he has... When the nappy is not enough to contain his excitement, if you will. His excitement after eating. Because he is eating solids. And we used to think that we had too many bibs, but now we don't have enough bibs. He's kind of like a baby version of Cher or Madonna or Lady Gaga, in that he gets through an awful lot of costume changes every day. It's like he's doing a Vegas show, like a matinee show and an evening show, and he's got no understudy and he's under severe pressure. But he's eating things that we make for him. Now, we did buy a kind of a, powder, add water to it, but we didn't think that was, we're kind of, we're progressive parents. We care about our son's nutrition. It's the sort of thing where I find with other parents, and I've said this before on the podcast, but it's becoming more and more true. I kind of said it jokingly, but now I see it everywhere, and everyone who's had a kid, myself included, because no one knows what the fuck they're doing when it comes to kids. Even, there's this thing of no one knows what the fuck they're doing with the first kid, and then if they have a second kid or a third kid, but by the time the third kid comes along, sure, we basically just ignored them. So we didn't care. We didn't even take photographs. We just left them out in the backyard with a saucer full of milk. And we figured he'd just, feed himself like a cat. Because, children are very much like cats. They're small, they're hairy, they can turn on you in an instant. The mood swings. Which is true, I agree with that Northside Dublin man who I was doing an impression of there. They do have a lot of mood swings. Like Luke goes from crying to smiling to, oh my God, woe is me. This is the most impossible stress I've ever been under in my life. Oh, and I'm smiling again. And it's because I've shit myself. Now clean the shit off my balls. And he just gives you that stare. But he has been eating, here's what he was eating: courgette and pea and mint, all sort of mushed together. Like, for me, that's like a side garnish in a MasterChef final. That's like, Ed has prepared sea bass with a lemon jus, a foam complet, and a fennel, pea, courgette and mint, what do they call it? It's not a garnish, because a garnish is like a couple of leaves and a few cherry tomatoes. A sauce, I guess a reduction. It's been a while since I've seen MasterChef, and then they eat it and they go, it's a bit grainy. I was like, well, yeah, I couldn't blend it completely. Like, we blended it, and most of it went in his mouth, in Luke's mouth. That would be funny if if MasterChef, the final, when people presented their plates, and it's like this perfectly plated thing with, splashes like Jackson Pollock was making a dinner, and then they just went, excellent work. and then they just poured it into a blender and ate it like that, as the person who made it just kind of looks on aghast. But Luke seemed to enjoy it. I mean, we've got one of these like plastic bibs it's got a little pocket, so anything that he spits out of his mouth, which he does, it just falls into this. It's like a kind of a trough that you carry around with you at all times. Well, obviously we take it on and off him, but that would be funny if people walked around with a plastic bib with a kind of a pocket, so anything they eat, crumbs or bits of it, will fall off into this pocket, and then at the day they have like this kind of midnight snack made up of the bits of all the food that they've eaten during the day. I don't know why they have to eat it at midnight. It's not a prerequisite. Like, you must only eat it at midnight, only when it has collected in the plastic trough that hangs from your neck. Then you shall have your feast. It's not that specific. But I tell you something, when you have a lot of, and he's like grabbing the food with his hands and it's in his ears, and I'm worried about him rubbing his eyes and getting fucking pee and mint in his eyes, because that can't be good. Like, there's nothing specific that says in any of the baby books, don't let the babies get peas and mint in their eye and courgette. But I'm sure there is. He had, because we got this, I know, I don't want to name drop the book, so I won't. Look, it's from a popular, it's Joe Wicks, okay, I'll just say it's Joe Wicks' book. Cara got it from the library. I've heard of this guy, but I've never seen him. He's just one of these guys who looks like so happy and perfect with his, with his wife and baby and his series of books and his healthy baby eating empire. You just want to fucking punch him in the face. But in fairness to him, I wouldn't have a clue what to make babies. I know it's kind of one of those things where, what do babies like to eat when they start eating solids? And you just kind of go, mush? Can I have mush, please? I'll make some mush. And what's in the mush? I don't know. Food that's been mushed? It's just mush. It's like gruel. Like, what is gruel? What is that stuff that they feed orphans? Is it like oatmeal or something? What is it? What is gruel? I'm not going to look it up. I'm just posing the question. And if you don't know what it is, then we're both confused. Do you know what? This podcast is called Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. So what I'm going to do you one better by actually looking it up. One better than not looking up what gruel is. Gruel, food. Okay, let's get to the bottom of this, guys. Let's go to the Wikipedia page for gruel. Gruel is a food consisting of some type of cereal such as ground oats, wheat, rye, or rice, heated or boiled in water or milk. It is a thinner version of porridge that may be more often drunk rather than eaten and may not need to be cooked. Wow. If someone described that to you in a restaurant, if it's like, can we just tell you about our specials today? Yeah, it's kind of like a thin porridge that you can drink it. I have some here actually in my front pocket because it doesn't need to be cooked by the chef. So if you just want a couple of glasses of gruel there before your tasting menu of squid ink and raw carrots dipped in chocolate. I don't know why I said that. It's because I was thinking of carrots and porridge and cinnamon and oat milk. Grated carriage? Grated carrot. So you get a carriage, you remove the horses because that's just too much meat, and you finely grate the carriage. Now you'll find that the wooden parts of the carriage will grate much easier than the metal parts. You'll be quite some time, and you'll probably end up going through quite a number of graters to grate down all that metal. But no, it's good for you. It takes a couple of years to fully work its way through your digestive system, But once you've had a carriage, you'll never go back. And the beauty is, after midnight, all the carriage that you've eaten turns into pumpkin. So you also get your 5 a day, or 10 if you live in France, because things are different there. So yeah, I was right, guys. Gruel is just poor man's porridge, and porridge ain't that great. But you know what? When I grated the carrot, not carriage, that's a completely different. That's one of those Heston Blumenthal crazy recipes. But I grated the carrot and put it in with the porridge, heated it up, with a little bit of cinnamon, and I had a taste of it myself just to make sure it wasn't too hot, and it was quite nice. Of course, it all ended up in the plastic bib trough. Actually, no, the less of that ended up in the plastic bib trough. But I don't know if it's a case of we have been overusing the washing machine, and that's why the washing machine broke. That's why I started talking about dirty clothes and food and whatnot. But yeah, it wouldn't turn, it wouldn't agitate. It was just sort of having a nice casual chat with the clothes and not kind of going, come on, get clean, which is what you want from a washing machine. And it was filling up with water, of course, so I drained it and I Googled it a few times, looking at a few videos, and then realized I don't know how to fix a washing machine. Like, I'm handy with some things, but I don't know the technical aspects of fixing a washing machine are beyond me. So I rang a washing machine guy, and he said it's probably the brushes. And then he dumbed it down for me quite deliciously by saying, oh yeah, it's like the brakes on a car. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that reference. A car that washes clothes. He's like, no. Yeah, I went too far there. I've got to dumb it down even more. It's like when a thing won't go and you need a thing for it to go. Like batteries. It's like changing batteries in the washing machine. It runs on batteries. Oh, you mean the big D's, the double D's? No, that's a bra size. Yeah, I can't wash bras because the washing machine won't work. And then he said, look, I'll be there on Friday at 11. So that left us I was like, okay, that's fine. And that was Wednesday that I rang him. And when my father-in-law came home, because, my brother-in-law, Neil and Claire, live in here. Hi, Neil and Claire. And myself and Cara and Tom. So there's a good few washes going on. And we've got a baby. And there's a dog as well. I mean, he doesn't wear many clothes, if at all. He's like going up with these dog shorts in his mouth going... Mm-hmm. And Tom claims that it was too many washes, or too big a load in the washing machine. But we never overload it. It's just overuse. It's just the brushes wear down. Who knew washing machines had brushes that wear down? It's the first thing to go. So it's being repaired. But we are going to my hometown of Offaly at the weekend, my home county of Offaly, my hometown of Birr. So if you're around Birr on the weekend, hey, I might see you. Because it's my mum's birthday. Happy birthday, Mum, ahead of time. And it was Cara's birthday as well. So we were thinking double celebration. They're both 21. I don't know how that works logically, but we have to keep up the lie, the facade. So I had to do something because we're running out of socks and underwear. We're wearing burlap sacks. I mean, the latest Gucci, not like last season's burlap sacks. I'm talking the burlap sack. I picked up Vogue and I went to the burlap sack section to find out what was the ones that everyone was wearing. And I found out what Lady Gaga, it's the second reference to Lady Gaga. I think she's on my mind because she's in that Gucci movie where she claims that she stayed in character for a year and a half. And I don't believe that. That's too long to stay in character. And also, she wasn't shooting the movie for a year and a half. I don't know. I just, it's one of those things where it makes for a good headline, but I got to admit, I didn't actually read the actual story. That's clickbait for you. All those stories claim to blow the cheese off your cheeseburger and change your entire point of view on everything. But it doesn't work like that. That's not how things work, guys. So anyway, listen. We're running out of clothes. We're running out of bibs for Luke to, so he could mush some of the food that doesn't know is getting in his mouth. Because he doesn't know how to eat. That's the thing. He's only learning how to eat. He puts it in his mouth and he's like, what do I do with it now? Because he knows how to drink milk, which is eating. It's kind of like soup. When you're a baby, you eat milk. Kind of the way you eat soup. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. So I had to walk up to one of those washing machine units that's beside a garage. So I went up, or a garage, if you're American. I went up with 2 sacks of the burlap sacks that we had been wearing. Now, I did wear my tracksuit that is almost walking off me now at this stage because I've been wearing it all week. So I went up with the 2 burlap sacks of clothes in the thing because I used the buggy. I used the empty buggy, and I never felt more like a transient person. All I needed was the hat with the kind of short stovepipe hat with the top gone off it, and the bindle tied to the end of a stick. I always wondered what that was called, and it's called a bindle. Cara taught me that. She sometimes teaches me, I say sometimes, oftentimes, every day I probably learn something from Cara because I'm a dum-dum and she's very smart. I'm not a dum-dum. I'm just set in my ways, and for years I didn't want to know what a bindle was. I was like, I don't care what those old-timey hobos call those. I'm busy cooking eggs. I used to eat a lot of eggs back then. So I went up the road with these 2 bags of washing, and people were like letting me cross the street when I wasn't supposed to be crossing the street, and just because I had a buggy, but I clearly, like, there was no kind of pram part to it. People just thought, oh my God, he's got twins, and they're both big bags of washing. That's unfortunate. The poor man has a lot on his plate. Let's let him cross the road. And I put it in, and it took like 45 minutes, and I wasn't going to walk back because it took 15 minutes. So by the time I walked back, I'd have to walk back again, and then someone might steal our wet clothes. So I listened to a podcast and was writing some jokes, laughing out loud at how hilarious my jokes were. No, I was just kind of writing bits and pieces and ideas and stuff for the shows that I'm going to have coming up in the new year that will be going on sale before the end of this year. So stay tuned, watch this space. But you can't, because it's an oral podcast. I said oral. Well, it's oral as well. I'm speaking. I'm over-explaining this. So I went up to, basically, tickets on sale soon. I went up to this big washing machine at the side of a garage. I was just sitting down, waiting for it to finish. I wish I'd been in an actual laundrette, like they have in those kind of old movies that no one believes. And it was spinning, and I was just thinking, it was like for 5 minutes left. I was thinking, because there's a dryer there as well. It's like 15 minutes, €2 for 15 minutes for a dryer. Now, the dryer is working in the house, and I was thinking, I suppose I could put him in for 15 minutes because it's big, and it's probably a much better dryer than the ones we have at home. And just as I was doing that, some woman came up with washing, and it was mainly sheets and stuff, and put it in the dryer. Now, it took her a good 5 minutes to figure out how it worked, and I was kind of thinking, she put it on and then she sat in her car. I was waiting for it to finish drying because she had 15 minutes, obviously, and I was thinking, so this woman's washing machine is working, but her dryer is not, and my dryer is working, but my washing machine is not. Hey, maybe we can help each other out. One hand washes the other, yeah, and then the other one dries it. But no, I just put them back in the bags and went home, hung out some of the sheets, dried the rest of them in the dryer, and now we're good to go. Bibs aplenty and underwear clean as a whistle. Man, we're going to be living like kings. Kings and queens with clean underwear, as I imagine kings and queens do have. So, guys, we're going to take a little break. Here's a bit of a rap before we go to the break. Ooh, skid marks, not nice. You gotta get them off, not with ice. You gotta use something hotter. Hot water, the opposite of ice. That's right, that's rice. That's rice stuck in, it's dried in. You gotta rub it off, you gotta get some vanish. But it doesn't make your clothes go away. It's just a cleaner, it's the name. That's all you gotta do. Just make sure you get your food in your mouth. Don't get it caught in the trough or in your beard and you shake it off. It gets in your clothes. Wine is bad. And if you're a serial killer, getting bloodstains out is hard. Yeah, you're absolutely goddamn right there, Edwin Salmon of Knowledge. Getting bloodstains out of your clothes after a murder spree is difficult. I am an early morning DJ, and everything I say, no matter how deep, dark and disturbing it is very, very buoyant and happy. My wife left me last night. We were madly in love, at least I was madly in love with her, but she said she'd had enough. She just couldn't handle my buoyant and happy disposition. She said she just fancied someone else to have a cry with. That's right, she's not having any sort of sex with this other man. She's just talking about her feelings, having a cry, and he's being morose and melancholic and distant, whereas I am a happy open book. Here is The Only Way Is Up by Yazoo. So guys, that is not me. That is just my impression of a radio DJ, because a lot of the time I have to talk to myself, unless, you know, one of my celebrity friends calls. But what are the chances of that happening? Oh, there's the phone that I keep here in the studio. Let's pick it up and see who's on the other line, shall we?
Hello, Ed.
Oh, Barry. It's Barry Gibb. Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees.
Yes, that's right. It's me, Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees.
Yes.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I can. That's what I said. I just...
Good. I'm calling from my studio in Miami Beach, Florida.
Oh, yes. You're still in Florida? Are
Yes.
you on tour?
No.
Have you left Florida?
Have I left Florida? Of course. I've been all around the world, singing songs.
Yes, of course.
My brothers used to sing.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the pandemic, I decided to, not tour for a while and just stay inside.
Sure.
And just enjoy all the lovely money I've made over the years from writing songs.
Yes, you certainly have quite a number of songs. It's funny, I was just going through my YouTube kind of picks. You know, it just comes up.
Oh, yes.
And picks things for you.
Suggestions.
Yeah, that's it.
Algorithm.
Former Vice President Al Gore's rhythm.
Yes, bossa nova.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's his rhythm.
No, that was a joke.
So he's not a bossa nova man?
It's a computer thing.
Computers. Oh, yes. Like the lawnmower man.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bit of a dated reference.
Well, nothing was more terrifying to me than the lawnmower man. If you've seen it.
I have.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Terrifying now.
Yes. I mean, to my mind, that's the movie that got Pierce Brosnan James Bond. Some say it was Mrs. Doubtfire.
It was.
But I think it was that movie.
No.
Because people saw what he did with a lawnmower on the internet. He just mowed the entire code off of the internet and ended up inside a computer.
Yeah.
Just like the movie Tron.
Yeah, I don't think that's actually what happened in The Lawnmower Man.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time you saw it?
Oh, when it came out.
When it came out?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's a long time ago.
It's only the 90s. Feels like yesterday.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, if you saw it yesterday, then it would have been only yesterday.
No, I didn't watch it yesterday.
But it wasn't.
No, of course not. I mean, it's not that hard to remember the plot. There's a man.
Yeah.
There's a lawnmower. Mm-hmm. Computer shenanigans ensue.
Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan saves the day.
Shaves the day?
No, saves the day.
Okay. Yeah, saves the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's reasonably accurate. But I mean,
It's pretty accurate.
You can't be expected to remember the plots to reasonably obscure movies from the early 90s.
Yes.
But because you're a songwriter.
That's it. That's not my job. Although I do enjoy a good movie. Of course, I didn't talk to you since Halloween.
No.
But Halloween's one of my favourite times of the year.
Really? You enjoy Halloween?
Oh, yes, immensely. Of course, in my neighbourhood, it's a very exclusive area. Of course, I have made lots and lots of just lovely money. So I have a great big house with 4 butlers, and the house is so big, the butlers never even see each other.
Really?
I think 2 of the butlers don't even know that the other 2 butlers even exist.
Well, it's a big
That's
house.
how big the house is.
Yeah, it's a big house.
Are you impressed?
Yeah.
You should be.
I am.
So basically what we do on my street is I buy everyone's costume.
Oh.
All the kiddies, all the little children.
Wow.
I buy the costume because, I've got lots of lovely money, yes.
Yeah, that's very generous of you, Barry. Very generous.
Well, there is a caveat.
Oh, yeah?
Which is not a thing you wear around your neck. I think that's called a neckerchief.
Yeah.
But there is one little caveat.
What's that? What is it?
Well, I'll tell you what the caveat
Please
is.
do.
Ed.
Please tell me.
I insist that everyone dress up as me, Barry, or my brothers, Robin or Maurice, otherwise known as the Bee Gees.
Really?
And I call the special event, I've rebranded it on my street. It's called the Heebie Bee Gees.
Okay.
Give yourself the Heebie Bee Gees this Halloween. I've got banners made, so all the kiddies come up and they have fake beards glued on and they're wearing flares.
Right.
And, of course, I get them to sing some of the songs that were made famous by me and my brothers and made us all lots of lovely, lovely money.
Like carol singing.
Night Fever's a good one because you can kind of apply Night Fever to Halloween. Night Fever could be a vampire looking for blood, thirsty for that blood fix that they all want, breaking into the blood bank and drinking all the blood. It could be a werewolf.
Right.
The moon's out. Oh, he's getting hairy. He's getting very hairy. Where's Pierce Brosnan? Come save the day. He's mowing a lawn.
Yeah, I think you're mixing up your movies there.
Oh, yes?
An American Werewolf in Miami.
Oh.
Maybe it would be a better title for the movie.
Yes, that is good. That is a good title.
Yeah.
Is it good, that movie?
Well, they haven't made that yet. They made one, London, Paris.
Yes.
Miami could be the third one, I guess.
Trilogy.
Would you do the soundtrack for that?
I'd love to.
What would the song sound like?
Oh, you put me on the spot here, Ed.
I am. Give it a stab. Go on.
It's hot in the... Wait.
Yeah, okay.
It's hot in the city.
There you go.
The moon is out. It's midnight, but it's 27 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating in my clothes, but I'm about to break out of them, 'cause I'm a American werewolf in Miami.
Yeah.
Even though Miami's in America, I have to say that I'm American.
Ooh, nice
An American werewolf in Miami.
Not bad.
Watch a boy to be
more.
in Miami. She's hard to rhyme Miami with anything.
Yeah.
It's one of those words. It's like orange. It only rhymes with sporange, which is a word that doesn't exist.
Okay.
You have to invent a word like Miami, spyami.
Yeah.
Origami is probably the close.
Yeah, that works.
I wish I was an American in Japan playing with origami, but I'm an American werewolf in Miami. I suppose it kind of works. I haven't quite got the range there. We're spitballing. This is how you write songs.
Yeah, and there's a few kind of too many words in
Yes.
to rhyme with that An American Werewolf.
I cut out some of the words.
But you've got an amazing voice.
Well, thank you.
And you've got an amazing setup in the studio there. Thanks very much. I mean, your phone line just sounds like my microphone.
It's very good. But I can do a telephone voice. If
oh,
you
really?
Want.
You can do a telephone voice?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to hear it?
All right, okay. Come on,
yeah?
Show me then.
Okay. Hello, I'm talking on the telephone. I'll sing a little song. I tried to dial your number, but I forgot the digits. Just got the 087, but I couldn't remember the rest. Ooh, baby, you're Vodafone, but I'm the 3 network. Get unlimited calls, but you don't wanna call me with unlimited calls from 3. That's your rejected jingle I wrote for 3.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
I don't know how you did that.
Oh, it's just technique. It's just a technique, Ed.
But it's incredible.
You know, I've learned it over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your voice is a muscle. I remember Elton John saying that.
All right.
He said, your voice is a muscle.
Mm.
And then he lifted up a whole table with his neck.
Wow.
I'd never seen anything like it. I said, God, you weren't lying when you said that, Elton. Absolutely. How'd you do that? Turns out he was on a lot of cocaine.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you seem to have avoided a lot of drugs.
Oh, yes.
Over the years.
Oh.
I'm not saying you just,
all of
you
them.
know, you obviously were offered drugs.
Oh, yes. I've offered all of them.
Really?
Yes, you know, Benji's, Pop-Tarts. That's what we used to call poppers.
Oh, okay.
And then they went from Pop-Tarts to Pop-Pops to Poppers to Popos.
Yeah.
But that was also the name for the police.
Yeah, cops, yeah.
So sometimes you go to a party and someone would say, oh, the Popos are here. When they'd see a bag of poppers.
Yeah.
And then everyone would run out thinking they were talking about the police.
Oh.
And then one night was very confusing because I was at a party and the poppers were there and the popos were there, the actual police and the band, the police.
Oh.
With Sting, or as I call him, Gordon. And they were all there. So it was a triple confusion.
Wow.
And everyone was on poppers being arrested while listening to Roxanne being played live in the living room. Oh, those were the days. Wow. Crazy, crazy days. Definitely had plastic on all the couches back then. Because if I didn't, they'd be ruined.
Yeah, I mean, with spillage and all.
Oh, of course. And you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even know what was being spilled.
Of course, yeah.
You'd have to look at the colour. And even then you wouldn't know. You'd say, red, is it blood? If it was Ozzy Osbourne, it might be blood and wine and ketchup. Because that man loved to eat a burger while drinking wine and stabbing himself in the leg.
Fuck.
Allegedly.
Oh,
I wasn't there that night.
Right.
Morris was there. He'd tell you, but he's passed on, unfortunately. Robin was never a wild man for the parties.
Yeah, and you must have gotten invited to so many soirees.
No, we were never in France.
Oh, yeah, well...
Never.
I mean, like just parties in general.
Oh, yes, but not French parties, because I just found, French parties, everyone's looking at what everyone is drinking, and everyone's looking at what everyone is wearing, and, everyone is just admiring everyone, and then I found out everyone was on acid.
Oh.
So people were very rightly obsessed with the colours and shapes of people's faces.
Yeah.
And Maurice came over to me and said, your face is melting.
Wow.
And I said, where's Robin? He's the sensible one.
Where was he?
He said, he's gone home. He's tucked himself up into bed. I said, what? Tucked himself into bed? He was a very private person. He had several butlers, but he wouldn't allow any of them to tuck him into bed. He always insisted on doing it himself. Very much a self-starter.
Yeah, kind of like a sort of a man of the people, really.
Yes. Down to earth.
Because, I certainly don't have anyone that tucks me into bed. But I have been tucking my son into bed since I've spoken to you last. I've had a
Mazel tov.
Nearly 6 months old now at this stage.
Wow. That's half a year by my calculations.
Yeah, that's correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Barry.
I said mazel tov.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're Jewish.
No, I'm not.
But it means congratulations.
Yes.
In ancient Hebrew.
Does it?
As far as I understand.
Okay, I mean, I don't know.
What's your little boy's name?
Luke.
Luke.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Good strong name, good biblical name.
Yeah, we think so.
Do you want me to make up a song about Luke on the spot?
If you want.
I will.
Okay, do it.
Okay, give me a beat. Yes, well, come on now. It's Luke. He's not gonna puke. He likes his food. He's not being rude. He's only doing dirty nappies 'cause he's a baby. If he could change himself, he would. He's a baby. He's good. He's not rude. He's not crude. If you give him nice food, he'll eat it. He's got gums. His teeth haven't come in. I buy gum. I rhyme gum with gums. But I'm a BG. I'm not used to freestyle rapping. That's why it's no good. I'm sorry. I'll go write a song for Celine Dion.
Oh, thank you so much, Barry. That was very good and unexpected.
Yes. I'm not used to rapping.
No, I mean, I think
bad.
I'll go write a song for Celine Dion was a nice way to end it.
You think? Okay, I shaved it with that. That's good.
Thank you for giving me a call.
Hey, no problem.
Being a guest again on my podcast.
My absolute plaisir, as they say in French. But I wouldn't know because I never go there.
Well, Barry, thank you so much, and I hope everything is going okay for you. I hope to see you in the real world.
Oh, that'd be great.
At some point.
Yes.
And good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Keeping the Bee Gees name going.
Yes, I have to.
And keeping those songs in people's ear holes.
Oh, yes.
You're doing God's work, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Ed. And good luck with the baby.
Bye-bye, Barry. Bye-bye.
Keep it alive. Staying alive.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote that song about a baby.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I could have. I didn't. But it can be applied to a baby.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Barry.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. 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 Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye. 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 Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay. All right. Oh, and he's gone. Guys, that was Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees, and that is the end of this week's episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to get extra content, there is a bonus episode every week. There is various video pods. There is various writings up there. There's about 40,000 words almost of my book. You can go to Edwin Salmon of Knowledge on Patreon and become a patron for the price of what a pint used to be before the pandemic drove all the prices of pints up. So for €5, the price of an old pint or the price of a new coffee, that is the price range. And you can do that. If you don't want to do that and you want to do something nice anyway and don't want to spend any money, you can just give me a review. Give me a really nice review and I'll love you forever. It really helps push this podcast into the ear holes of people who might appreciate it, and it helps me out immensely. If you've listened this far, then that makes sense because this is the end of the podcast, and most people who listen to a podcast will listen to the end of it, even if it is mindless waffle. So guys, please take care of yourselves and each other's. Check me out on Instagram. Check out my link tree in my bio for upcoming gigs, and I will see you all in the real world very soon. Well, not all of you, because some of you live in foreign countries, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Bye.